Not quite my tempo. Here we go. 5, 6, 8.
Have you ever sat down while watching a show, a movie, perhaps even when reading a comic or manga and noticed the colors used in that story? Kind of a silly question, I know, but I want you to think about your favorite show, the characters in that story, the tone and messages it's trying to portray, whether that be a scene that evokes fear.
Are you sure there's nobody else in the house? Would you like to go upstairs and check?
A scene that evokes sadness, anger, happiness, and you quickly begin to notice that color is often a second tool used to tell a story. Color is vital to our everyday existence, enriching our surroundings and influencing our experiences. Take a look at these colors: red, blue, orange, yellow, black, and so on. When you see these colors, what comes to mind? If you're like most people, then the answer is pretty obvious. Red represents danger, violence, love, and so many other things. Blue could mean sadness, cold, and intelligence. How about the color white? White in most medium is often portrayed as being pure, having a sense of innocence and a new beginning. All of these colors may seem simple at first, yet they carry deep significance and meaning. There are tools that directors, authors, artists, and mangakas
There is a panty or no panty. It's mysterious.
use to enhance their narrative and are following a theory that we refer to as color theory. Let me give you a little history lesson. Dating all the way back to the year 1666, Sir Isaac Newton, a name who I'm sure you're all familiar with, you know, the same guy who was sleeping under a tree and an apple fell on his head, and he's rumored to have said, I understand it now. This must be... No, seriously. This man was rumored to have said Eureka. Yeah, that guy. Discovered the basis for understanding color. So how did he do it? How did he begin to understand the mechanics of color? Well, he conducted an experiment involving the use of light from the sun, a white prism, and some sheets. Using a beam of sunlight, he directed the light through a small opening in a darkened room. He then placed the white prism in the path of the light and positioned it so that the light would enter one face of the prism. As sunlight passed through the light, refracted due to the change in medium from air to glass, which then caused different colors to spread out, forming this rainbow. To separate each color, he got a second prism and redirected the colors from the first onto the second and isolated each color, creating a gap between a wall. This experiment allowed Newton to understand the composition of light and laid out the groundwork for how the concept of color theory came to be. There's a pretty cool video that shows you how you can recreate the same experiment, which I thought was pretty interesting, so I'll leave a link below if you're interested. Color theory is essential in visual storytelling, whether it be in the forms of shows, films, video games, animes, colored manga, or comic books. It significantly impacts mood, character development, and audience engagement. Color can mean a lot of things. It can portray specific emotions, symbolize an aspect of a character's personality or journey. It can show a person's growth or decline, and it can be used to differentiate the hero versus the villain. In video games, it can be used to set a tone, but it's a way to guide the players on what is interactable and not. It has a huge role in the artistic approach to a game and can be used to once again symbolize many things. In comic books, webtoons, and colored manga, color guides the reader's eye and highlight important elements, such as an action or a key dialogue. It can be used to distinguish a character's key feature in an outfit, or can be used to establish a world and setting. A well thought out color scheme can make or break a series. It's a visual medium that can make a world aesthetically pleasing, enhancing the overall experience for the audience and drawing you in to the world. So let's look at some examples of how color is used, with the first being in
Silence! I am Paul Muad'Dib Atreides, Duke of Arrakis. Eruditina Heshinani, Melissanal-Gai, Ruin Dimenaruk, Ashini.
films. Dune uses a ton of colors to portray the story's themes, to show the different fractions and planets, to show the growth of characters, and to once again create tension. Take the 4 planets for example: Arrakis, Caladan, Gedi Prime, and Khitan. Each planet has its own distinctive features and color. Arrakis uses a more orangey brown tint. Caladan is more cool and chill tone. Khitan has a more gold and rich color palette, whereas Gedi Prime is portrayed as having almost no color. But that makes sense for the environment and tone the planet gives off. Harkonnens are seen as dark, gritty, and generally a harsh environment. It almost feels like the world of that planet has no life. So the best way to portray that feeling is by literally getting rid of each and every color. In Arrakis, light is a tool to help establish a scene and is a way to shift the colors at a given moment. The director once said in an interview,
So more importantly, the light. What the light on Arrakis will look like. What would be the emotions coming out of this light. The qualities, the contrast.
so next time when you do decide to watch either of the Dune films, pay attention and you'd see that Arrakis has 3 different colors, progressively getting warmer and warmer. Color is also used to show the growth and emotional state the main character, Paul Atreides, is feeling at a given time. At the beginning of the film, Paul is often seen in muted earth tone clothing that aligns with the House of the Atreides colors. Fast forward a little to when he's on the planet Arrakis. Paul's surroundings and experiences are depicted with warmer, sandy colors, symbolizing his growing connection to the planet and his people, particularly to the Fremens. During moments of self-discovery and empowerment, the color palette shifts to a more vibrant and intense hue. For instance, scenes when he's experiencing visions or embraces his potential often feature striking contrast, emphasizing his awakening in the way of his emerging role as a. While Dune is a story that primarily takes place in the desert that holds one particular color palette, the cinematographers, directors, and team were able to use color and lighting to tell the second story of Dune. Just look at any works from Denis, you'd see just how much effort goes into the color grading and lighting in his films. How about other films that possess a more vibrant color palette? Oh god. There's so much to choose from. Let's go with
City of stars, are you shining just for me? City of stars, there's so much that I can't see. Who knows? I felt it from the first embrace I shared with you.
That now our dreams may finally come true.
La La Land. La La Land is about two characters, Mia, who is an aspiring actress, and Sebastian, who is an up-and-coming musician. Throughout the film, the two characters are seen wearing mostly one color, blue and red. After meeting and gradually becoming closer and closer, the two begin to wear colors that are typically associated with the other person. Key moments in this film's emotional scenes are highlighted with the color purple.
As red and blue combined create the color purple.
It's the unified color expressing feelings of love, nostalgia, and many other things. La La Land is a special case where color often challenges the traditional ideas of what a specific shade should be associated with. Color in this film is used to progress the story's narrative and themes. For example, green in this film is associated with serious moments or big turning points. When they first meet, the couch and wall Mia sits in when auditioning for a life-changing role. The final montage of the film, it's used to symbolize hopes, dreams, personal aspirations, and the character's journey. Blue is used in this scene, and this scene. It's a color that, in some shape or form, has something to do with their futures and careers. In this scene in particular, you can see the moment when a famous actress comes in and orders a coffee. You notice Mia is stuck behind a blue wall, while the person she's idolizing is wearing a red dress. The building she enters when she first sees Seb is in a red building. Red is shown in this scene.
Two options. You either follow my rules or follow my rules. Capiche?
Thank you.
Oh,
Thanks.
I can do it a different way.
No, that's fine. Thank you very much.
This scene and this scene. Damien Chazelle often speaks in interviews about the process and discussions he had when selecting which colors, costumes, and lighting should be used in a given scene.
For 2 days, we went through the film scene by scene, myself, the Wascos, and Damien.
Just going through every single moment of the script, purely talking about color. The misconception sometimes is in order to have a colorful movie, is you just throw a lot of color at it. And actually, if you throw a ton of color on a canvas, it winds up not seeming colorful because the colors just start to muddle each other. You have to pick a lane, basically. And so that's what we've tried to do for every single shot.
It's a really intricate process, and listening to the team talk about how the film came to be shows you just how meticulous and care went into the colors used in La La Land. Color in films is a bridge for directors, costume designers, cinematographers to use when looking to portray various emotions and themes. These are just two examples from two contrasting films. But take movies like The Batman, Blade Runner, Sin City, Singing in the Rain, Pleasantville, The Shining, and you'd see just how color plays a big role in the medium of films. Okay, but what about TV series? Shows like Avatar: The Last Airbender, Breaking Bad, Blue Eyed Samurai, Euphoria, Arcane, and all the other millions of shows that are out there. Just like films, color plays a crucial role in TV shows, influencing both storytelling and viewer perception. In Avatar: The Last Airbender, color symbolism is intricately tied to the different nations and themes of the story. The Water Tribe consists of blue and white colors. Their outfits and surroundings embodies these hues, symbolizing calmness, adaptability, and harmony. The whites of the snow and the clothing they wear show purity and a connection to the moon and tides, highlighting themes of fluidity and change. The Earth Kingdom colors are green and brown, representing growth, stability, and strength. The color brown is often seen as being resilient and grounded, all traits that relates to someone like the Boulder.
The Boulder feels conflicted about fighting a young blind girl.
Sounds to me like you're...
Toph. The Fire Nation red and oranges signifies power, passion, and aggression. These color palettes reflect the aggressive nature of the nation and its quest for dominance. One of the best use of color in the entire series is the dragon dance scene between Zuko and Aang. It holds cultural connection, character growth, bonding, and trust, and the visuals provide an emotional impact. The dance symbolizes the shared heritage of firebending, linking Zuko to his ancestors and Aang to the broader spiritual world. This scene marks a pivotal moment in Zuko's character development, as it reflects to his journey from conflict and isolation to acceptance and understanding. It showcases his willingness to embrace his identity as a firebender in a positive way. The scene is also visually stunning. Zuko's warm colors serves as a juxtaposition to Aang's cold colors. This use of complementary colors emphasizes their differences while also highlighting the harmony they can achieve together. In shows and movies like Star Wars with Luke Skywalker, Whiplash with Andrew Neiman, Breaking Bad with Walter White, wardrobe is used to symbolize the character's emotional change. In the show Arcane, color theory is used thoughtfully to convey emotions, character dynamic, and the thematic elements of the show. Jinx holds a vibrant and chaotic color palette, primarily focusing on pinks and purples. These colors reflect her unstable personalities and emotional turmoils. As she descends further into madness, these colors becomes more erratic, symbolizing her internal conflict and volatility. Dude, what the heck? I can't say this word. But symbolizing her internal conflict and volatility. Bro! What the heck? Symbolizing her internal conflict and validity. Gold is often associated with power and wealth, as it appears in the—
Oh shit, here we go again.
Is often associated with power and wealth, as it appears in the designs of the elite, signifying their status and privilege, which in turn creates a visual hierarchy within the world. In Blue-Eyed Samurai, color in the series may draw from cultural significance, with certain hues representing themes like traditions or betrayal. The overall lighting and scenes incorporate color to set the mood. Bright, vibrant scenes convey joy or action, while darker tones evoke a sense of danger or melancholia. Unlike films and TV shows, developers and artists use a more unique way to incorporate color to achieve an interactive experience, guiding players' perceptions and influencing mood. In the game Inside, the developer and team switched to Unity to simplify development. They added their own rendering routines to create the game's unique style. The game uses a desaturated dark color palette to create a somber, oppressive atmosphere that reflects the protagonist's journey through a dystopian world. The lack of vibrant colors enhances feelings of despair and urgency. This in turn heightens the story's themes of isolation and alienation. In the game Gris, each color corresponds to a stage of grief. Red for loss, blue for sadness, green for acceptance, visually narrating the protagonist's emotional journey. Ghost of Tsushima uses color to achieve beautiful visuals. The clothing peoples wear reflects their personalities and role, and light is once again used to create a dynamic atmosphere. In a game, color is used for more than just drawing the world. It's used to build visual harmony throughout an environment. Without color, a player might not notice what is interactable or not. Players wouldn't be able to distinguish between friendly and foe, pickables and environmental items. Without an effective color system, games would have a harder time in telling its story, identifying characters and gameplay mechanics, guide the players on where to go, and lacking the artistic creativity that attract players to play the game. How about mediums like comic books and graphic novels? How is color used to effectively tell a story? Unlike films, video games, and shows, these mediums doesn't have the luxury of animations and lighting. At least not this type of lighting. Color theory in comics is used strategically and are focused on other things. Each character often has a distinctive color scheme that reflects their personalities and role. For instance, a heroic character might be associated with bright, vibrant colors, while an antagonist may have darker, harsh, and edgy colors. There are, however, exceptions to that rule when looking at certain characters like the Batman, Black Panther, Blade, and many, many more. However, these colors carry symbolic meaning to the characters. Every hero and villain is defined by particular colors. The choices of red, blue, and yellow weren't just coincidence. Heroes are often depicted in shades that mirror their morals and character traits. Early, these colors were the go-to color for every superhero. The reason for this was due to the lack of options and color print that was available. With the development of technology, those restrictions no longer apply. Joker's iconic colors consist of the colors purple, green, and yellow. His purple suit signifies chaos and creativity. Green shows his madness, and yellow highlights his unpredictable nature and his role as being the crown prince of chaos. Hulk is a character who portrays himself as angry, but was given the color green? What? Isn't red often portrayed with anger? So, why is he green?
I did not think of green originally. I made it gray in the first issue. I thought that'll be scary looking, a guy with gray skin. But unfortunately, when the book came out, the gray was a different shade in every page. One page it was light gray, one page it was dark gray, one page he looked black, one page it was white, and I realized the printer was having trouble with the gray color. I said, I'll change his skin color. So in the next issue, I made him green. Turned out wonderful. The printer was able to do a good job with green, but more than that, it gave me a chance to come up with little cute sayings like, I called him the Green Goliath, the Jolly Green Giant, and Old Green Skin. I love using expressions. So that's how the Hulk was born.
You know, sometimes there isn't a grand reason. Maybe colors came to be by printers not working. Different colors are used in speech bubbles to indicate various emotions and tones. A bright yellow balloon might suggest happiness or excitement. A red balloon, yeah, don't listen to that guy's information. He's completely wrong. I mean, Reddit says so. Let's be honest here. When has Reddit ever been wrong? Comics like Daredevil, Born Again, Hellboy, Bone, Silver Surfer Requiem all use color to perceive their story. Bright, whimsical colors in some locations versus darker, more gothic tones in others help establish the tone and context, reflecting the character's experiences and emotions in those space. But while all of these things are cool and interesting, I am a channel that primarily focuses on anime and manga. Sometimes webtoons, but that's like the 1% of my content. So how the hell is color used in these type of medium? Color in anime is very similar to how it is portrayed in movies and shows. It again highlights themes and symbolism, creates world building, and makes it easier for us as a viewer to distinguish characters by their hair color or the colors of their clothing, and in some cases holds some cultural meaning. There are many instances when color is used in the story symbolically. Shows like Attack on Titan, Monster, Tokyo Ghoul, really any show that exhibits mystery or suspense uses darker tones to highlight the show's darker themes. Compare the color scheme of the first Attack on Titan, before the time skip and before the studio change. Mappa, Patrol of the Characters, opted to tell the story using a less vibrant color palette to show the shift in the maturity of the second season. This choice of doling out the colors fits the season themes and objective perfectly. If the colors were a lot more brighter, vibrant even, scenes like this, or even this, would not have the same effect. In Monster, color is strategically used to evoke fear and tension, enhancing the psychological horror of the story and its feelings of uncertainty. Deep shadows and stark contrasts are frequently used, and the heavy use of black and darker tones enhances the antagonist's menacing presence. And comedic, more fantasy-esque anime uses vibrant colors to emphasize its whimsical and lighthearted tone. Typically, these shows uses colors like bright blues, yellows, green, colors that complement each other very well to create the feeling of comfort. However, when tension and fear is needed, the colors can snap, removing that comforting feeling it previously had. In Death Note, the series often uses stark contrast between light and dark colors to symbolize the morality of the characters. Red and blue is commonly used, with red being portrayed as a thirst for power, strength, justice, and danger, while blue is dominated by wisdom, confidence, and calmness. The contrasting colors serve to visually reinforce the ideological battle between Kira and L. It creates a visual representation of the tension between their conflicting worldviews. Light's obsession with control and his vision of a perfect world versus L's pursuit of justice through rational means. In Demon Slayer, despite sword techniques not actually being there, technically the visuals that follow helps viewers distinguish what is being used, and there are some history and culture behind some of the techniques. Take a look at the swords given to a Demon Slayer. These swords are crafted with special type of materials. These minerals are the reason why every sword has its own distinctive color. It is said that when a true wielder of a sword picks it up for the first time, the blade will change to a particular color that is suited to the individual, matching their personality or strength. Color plays a crucial role in anime, films, comics, and webtoons, serving as a powerful storytelling tool that convey emotions and themes. It's a way to help establish the mood and atmosphere, often reflecting the character's journey or the overall tone of the narrative. Through color theory, creators can evoke specific feelings, symbolize character traits, and enhance world building. Color is very important and is something that we often take for granted, due in part of us being overly privileged enough to witness some of the best use of color early on. Color is used in multiple different ways across multiple forms of media. No matter the anime or movie, the show or books you might be reading, the video games you might be playing, take a step back and appreciate the colors you see. Look deeper and you'll start to realize just how color is used to tell the second story.
When it's dark out on the one you need, yeah, listen to the beating of your heart's out. When it's dark out on the one you need, yeah, listen to the beating of your heart's out.